The Newsline.
Hello and welcome to People's TV. In today's video, we would like to discuss some key highlights about the two-state solution, a proposal widely viewed by the international community as a possible answer to the long-standing Israel-Hamas conflict. Saudi Arabia and France had planned a special conference in the month of June with the purpose of revisiting this initiative, which has been promoted for decades as the final resolution to the conflict. The aim of the conference was to build international consensus and influence the State of Israel to adopt the proposal and formally recognize Palestine as an independent state. This solution has been discussed on several occasions over the years, yet it has never come to pass. The conference, originally scheduled for June, was postponed after Israel declared war on Hamas. According to foreign media, it has now been rescheduled for July. Historically, support for the two-state solution came largely from Arab nations sympathetic to the Palestinian cause. More recently, however, international attention has grown due to political developments in Europe. The growing presence and influence of Muslim immigrant communities have become a decisive factor in European politics. As these communities gain political leverage, European leaders find it increasingly difficult to ignore their demands. In many cases, accommodating these demands has become a matter of political survival. This shift has allowed pro-Palestinian factions to bring European governments closer to their position. The upcoming conference, now rescheduled for July, is co-chaired by France and Saudi Arabia. The original event was postponed after Israel declared war on Hamas. Despite its frequent discussion, the two-state solution presents several challenges. For instance, unlike India and Sri Lanka, which are two geographically separate nations, Israel and a potential Palestinian state would share the same land. The proposed Palestinian state would unite the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, both of which have historical ties to Israel. The West Bank includes ancient Israeli regions such as Judea and Samaria. Gaza, meanwhile, has never functioned as an independent country. Another key issue is the demand for East Jerusalem to serve as the capital of the new Palestinian state. Israel strongly opposes ceding East Jerusalem. The city holds religious and historical significance for Jews, and while Israel tolerates Palestinian presence in the West Bank and Gaza, it does not recognize these areas as independent states. The West Bank is governed by the Palestinian Authority, and Gaza is controlled by Hamas. Israel allows these governing bodies to function but maintains that these territories are part of the Israeli state. Another contentious point involves the Palestinian diaspora. Many Palestinians fled to neighboring Arab countries during the 1948 war and now demand the right to return to a future Palestinian state. Israel has consistently rejected this demand. The 1948 war, referred to by Palestinians as the Nakba or catastrophe, resulted in hundreds of thousands of Palestinians fleeing to Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, and Iraq. Others found refuge in the Gulf, Europe, and North America. Jordan now hosts over 2 million Palestinians. While some have obtained Jordanian citizenship, many remain stateless. Lebanon is home to approximately 470,000 Palestinians, most of whom lack citizenship and face restrictions on property ownership and employment. Syria once recognized Palestinians as dual citizens, but the government recently reclassified them as foreigners, a development discussed in a previous video. The issue of the diaspora has also raised security concerns. Some individuals with Palestinian origins have been involved in political activism and unrest in their host countries. For example, protests disrupting U.S. universities have been led by individuals of Palestinian descent. A large-scale return of the diaspora to the Palestinian territories could escalate tensions and undermine Israel's national security. Even with the current population in Gaza and the West Bank, Israel faces significant challenges. An influx of returnees could further destabilize the region. This context raises questions about European involvement. It is worth considering whether France's support for the two-state solution stems from anxiety that its own growing Muslim population might one day demand territorial autonomy. Israel has made numerous efforts toward peace over the years. It has made significant sacrifices, including the withdrawal from the Gaza Strip and concessions in the West Bank. In the past, Israel expressed willingness to consider a two-state solution. However, the October 7th attack by Hamas severely undermined trust and goodwill. This attack was a devastating blow to any hope of peace and made further concessions nearly impossible from Israel's perspective. October 7th served as a grim reminder of the risks Israel faces. The attack was brutal and indiscriminate, targeting civilians and reigniting fears about Palestinian intentions. Given these events, Israel is unlikely to approve an autonomous Palestinian state or support the two-state solution. Regardless of who advocates for it, whether French President Emmanuel Macron or the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Israel is firm in its position. Pro-Hamas groups attempting to justify the two-state solution often cite the war in Ukraine as a parallel. Russia claimed its invasion was necessary to protect ethnic Russians living near the border. These same groups argue that Palestinians deserve similar protection and autonomy. However, they often ignore the fact that Israel faces a far more direct and proven threat. Russia acted on a perceived threat, while Israel responded to a real and deadly assault on its population. In conclusion, the situation remains complex, and Israel's opposition to the two-state solution is deeply rooted in legitimate security concerns and hard-learned lessons from the past. The international community must carefully consider these realities before advancing a political solution that could further destabilize the region. Without such caution, the so-called solution risks becoming two states, and one lasting curse. If this report helped you see the situation on the ground clearly, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to People's TV, where truth has no agenda, and facts speak louder than spin.
Subscribe us for more details.